This is NK Domzale, a football club from Slovenia. Or should I say, it was. They won 2 league titles and 2 cups in the past, but at the start of 2026, Domzale went bankrupt because of their debt. But in this video, we're not going to just give up. I'm going to save NK Domzale, and I want to do just that. I'm going to bring the Slovenian league title back to the town just north of Ljubljana. However, this rebuild won't be easy at all. Let's look at all the transfers we made in our first season. What am I looking at? I was asking for some transfers we made. Where are they? Oh yeah, we quite literally do not have any money in the club. Domzale has 2.6 million euros of debt, just like in real life before dissolving. This means that in the first season, I cannot make a single transfer. I cannot even make a loan deal, or trial the free agent. I have to deal with who I have. To see any new faces, we will have to wait for the youth intake. If we even survive that long, that is. What's even worse is that I will have to accept every transfer offer that comes for our players. I can't deny loan offers though, unless they have an optional or mandatory future fee. But in this chaos, there is still space for good news. I convinced Samir Handanovic, a former Domzale goalkeeper, out of retirement. Even though he's a long way past his best, I hope he will still greatly contribute to the club's revival. He will not only help out on the pitch in our first season, but also he became the temporary owner. He invested in the club, helped us start the season, and ensured its survival before finding someone who will take charge permanently. Alongside him, we've got plenty of young talent already in the team. The best of the bunch are striker Luka Mlakar, a midfielder Gal Clinching, and a defender Lukasz Hempt. This is great for us. That's because there is a rule that forces us to play at least one under-21 Slovenian at all times. We have 14 of them. I just wonder how long they will stay in the club, because I also can't offer any extensions until the winter transfer window. And now it's the right time to go to the pitch. In the Slovenian league, every team plays each other 4 times, twice home and twice away. The bottom team gets relegated, and the second from bottom fights for survival in the relegation playoff. And we are predicted to barely escape that drop. So let's find out if we've got what it takes to survive this season. We're starting this rebuild with a home match against Primorje Ajdovština. To maximize our chances of winning against them, and therefore survival, I decided to go with a 5 at the back formation. The main priority here is to defend on the left side, and Primorje are starting a play of their own. Gulic gets to a 1v1 against Handanovic. The referee, he does not award it. What just happened here? Ball is headed away. Mlakar takes control of it with a half volley here. Coyote still going on the right side of the pitch and makes a pass to Gulic. He wasn't offside. Handanovic saves it with his foot. Got the opportunity and he will hit this free kick. Wow! Got a ball to Karvic! He tried an overhead kick from the edge of the area. Wow, if that went in, we would have a goal of the century in Football Manager. Hopefully this is a decent start, because it's definitely something to build on. Now, the big question is, were we forced to sell anyone? Well, there were a few sites interested in our players, but nobody sent an offer. We will survive in full strength until January. So let's see if we did well in the next games. For the second match, we traveled to Kidričevo to play Alumini. It was a game where the hosts relied on sending crosses for the strikers to head the ball in. The crossing went well for them, but the shooting did not. So Alumini decided to score from distance, which also didn't work, and we ended this game with another draw. The problem is, we're letting in way too many chances. And this might turn against us in a match against Slovenia's most recent champions, Olimpija Ljubljana. Ananu, back again on the right side, he's very active today here in Domzale, and just misses the target. Talison to Durdov Mitrovski, and it's the first goal we see in this rebuild, and unfortunately it's a conceded goal. Mitrovski to Durdov, who is on a 1v1 and scores from a volley, and we are celebrating, which means it's disallowed indeed. He waits a little bit, Durdov gets the ball to Mitrovski. That was a nice shot, hits the crossbar only. Can definitely win this, or at least get a draw, or concede a goal. That's a first loss for us. Little bit of a good news is that we at least have 2 points scored, even though there were 0-0 draws. From this match I get one conclusion. We can semi-decently defend, however, this isn't enough for us to safely stay up. And to make it even harder of a challenge, right after Olimpija, we take on the most successful team in the country, NK Maribor, 16-time champions, who also made it to the Champions League group stages 3 times. Jan Repas, who gets into a 1v1, Handanovic could not save it, continue progressing on the left side, he's on 1v1 against the keeper, Kampic gets that ball to the area, this might be a penalty. And now Alexandros has a chance to score our first goal for Domzale. Please do it. He did. Goes to the substitute striker Mbina, who somehow got to that ball, but Samir Handanovic with the fantastic save keeps the score level. Boris delivers it to Mbina. Vicher will get the ball in front of the area, gets it to Karol Boris, and unfortunately Maribor scored a 91st minute winner. In real life, Domzale only scored 1 point in the first 9 games. Right before dissolving, their form improved and they even got a win over Olimpia Ljubljana. This clearly shows our situation in this rebuild is far from ideal, but at least we can say we had a much better start. We scored our first goal in the rebuild against Maribor, and turns out we really needed it, because right after, we won our first ever match. It was a 5-0 demolition of NK Domzale. We even got a draw against NK Celje, last season's Conference League quarter-finalists, who this year are also in the round of 16. But you can clearly tell this is a rebuild of a club that doesn't even exist in real life. After the first round of games, we're last. Only 5 points away from the 4th place, but we're still last and with just 1 win. This isn't looking good, especially considering the media prediction. During this transfer window, we jumped to 6th place there. We have to wake up if we want to survive. Literally. Which is something our assistant manager loves to talk about in the context of Radomlje. The team that just after eliminated us from the Slovenian Cup, which made Samir Handanovic disappointed with our progress. And just a few days later, they scored an 88th minute winner against us. But in all honesty, the second round of games was a bit better. The highlight of our time in Domzale so far is the match against Maribor. We were losing with 10 minutes to go, but we equalized with 8 minutes left, and to make things even better, Mats Ver scored a 90th minute winner. This win, and one over Alumni, helped us escape the direct relegation slot, but we're not satisfied with it by any means. We want to show we're improving week in, week out. But do we even have a chance against Celje, who are unbeaten in the league so far and are a league above us? Literally. In real life, they almost went to the Conference League semi-final last year and reached a round of 16 this year. Brdik on the left side of the penalty area makes a turn and will look for a tap into Hrvatin. No way! No way! You've just missed an open goal, mate! Milic, fantastic ball to Brdik. Can he show his right back how to score? No, he hits the post. Cantero to Geje. Lamin opens up the scoring for Celje. Free kick. And it ends up in a goal. Ambic is on the right side, makes a pass to Kachvic, who scores a first-time shot. It's a goal. And Bohinc, a center-back, is near Celje's penalty area as the only man there. Why did he decide to shoot? Yep, we wasted this opportunity all by ourselves. But at least we got a win over NK Bravo before the winter break. And as we enter it, we're 8th. At least we're not in the drop zone. We have to massively improve and become more consistent to steer away from a relegation fight for good, which won't be that simple. Right before the new year, we got the news that our wage budget is heavily reduced, and now we're actually overspending. What more bad news? Our youth intake preview shows it will be extremely poor, but we'll find that out near the end of March, I guess. For now, let's focus on the winter transfer window. As we stepped into January 16th, 2026, I received the good news. I could finally extend the contracts with our players. So of course I decided to do just that. But I couldn't. As I said, we don't even have the wage budget. I requested that the board increase it, but honestly, what did I expect? We simply do not have the money. Olimpia Ljubljana capitalized on that opportunity and offered a contract to Luka Dovzan Karahodzic. Luka accepted the offer and will join them in July. But I knew we cannot just wait until Luka's contract runs out. There's this tiny button that says sell now. We need to gain cash anytime we can. And as you may have guessed, I clicked it and decided to sell Luka now. The default value for Luka was 25,000 and Olimpia took that offer, which added to 1,200 euros of a transfer budget. Like, that's gonna help out our transfer budget, Alexander. It helped so much in fact that we almost lost Benjamin Maticic because I could not even offer him a wage. And I don't even have a director of football to delegate the negotiations to. I became so desperate that I terminated the loans of Felipe Felicio, Victor Echibe and Giannis Alexandrakis. None of them played anyway. Only then I could start extending some contracts, including the one for Maticic. Luckily, everyone I negotiated a contract with accepted the offer. We returned to the pitch with a draw against Alumni. And then we demolished Primorie 8-1. This sport called football makes perfect sense. It truly does, because then we had an absolute cinema of a game against Olimpia Ljubljana. Coming into the stoppage time, we were losing 2-1. But then, we proceeded to score not once, not twice, 3 times to steal the victory from the Dragons. With a 5-3 loss to Maribor and a 2-0 win over Radomlje, we overtook NK Bravo and joined the top half for the first time in this rebuild. Even though this is huge news for us, I don't think we're catching anyone in the top 4. We were level on points with Bravo, against whom we only could get a draw in the 88th minute. A further draw to Mura and losses to Celje and Koper dropped us down to 7th before the final round of games. And before that final round of games, we had a youth intake. Did that intake provide us players that will be our stars when we fight for the title? I mean, it's not bad. We've got 4 youth prospects that are actually pretty good. I don't think though that they'll be a part of our championship winning 11. All of the 4 players we signed will play for under 19s now. But what about our first team? In the final games of the season, we confirmed our reputation as those who like to score important goals in the final minutes. This includes a 95th minute winner against Primorie and an 89th minute equalizer against Maribor. A few more wins, including one over Celje, rounded up this pleasantly surprising season. We climbed our way to the top half. Just. Literally. We overtook 6 NK Bravo only on goal difference. But the on-pitch action was not the main talking point in Domzale. That's because the closer we were to rounding up the season, the more news we read that Samir Handanovic may have found a permanent investor after he saved the club. Right before the penultimate match against NS Mura, this news became serious, as we were put under a transfer embargo. And right after that game, the takeover was completed. A local investor in Mitja Bielkic became the new owner and promised to wipe out all debts as soon as possible. Will he do it? We'll find out in the second season. What definitely happened is that Samir Handanovic, for some reason, left the club entirely before the final game. Mitja Bielkic did it! He actually cleared the club's running debts and brought us back to the positive bank balance. Under one condition though, he wants you to subscribe. However, our new president doesn't want to risk our club being on the verge of bankruptcy again. So right before the second season, I received the rules he set up. First off, I can finally sign the staff members, just that they have to be Slovenian. This led me to signing a director of football Zlatan Jubiljakic, who started his career in Domzale, a head of sports science Žiga Pors, and a head performance analyst Matthias Lorbek. But what about the players? I am finally able to reject all offers I want, and I can even buy new players. Just with a small twist. First, I will have to sell players, and I cannot spend more money than I received. And I'm only limited to Slovenians who are 21 or younger. It's great that I accidentally prepared us for this occasion. That's because during the first season, Nino Milic and trainer Antusha Lamprecht both requested a transfer away from the club. Nino chose SC Heerenveen in the Netherlands for a total of 625,000 and trainer's next club is Pardubice in Czechia for 140,000. Even though I would only count the base fee into our transfer budget, we still theoretically had 465,000 euros. And in reality, we only had 177,000. This forced me to rely on free transfers and loans. The free signing I made was Anel Zulic at centre back. And then I turned my attention to loans. And I only had to pay the wages for all of them. Our loanees for this year are a centre back Lukasz Weber from Celje and 2 youngsters from Maribor. Kobe Bites in the centre of midfield and Nick Belovic up front. We were well and truly ready for some action in the second season. The media predict us to finish mid-table this time around, but we want to be a positive surprise. I think we could well and truly finish this season on the podium. We began our season with a home game against newly promoted NK Nafta Lendava. Palu Faye opened up the scoring early on and then assisted Tamas Brdik. A tap-in from Gal Krancic followed, and even though we conceded a goal after an unlucky deflection, we started the second season with a comfortable win. This helped us catch momentum really quickly. We are in fantastic form. We are in fantastic form. During that start of the second campaign, we also managed leading. Come on, I just want to finish the sentence. Yes, we won 3-0 over both Maribor and Celje. And yes, we're leading after 10 games. In an absolutely bizarre start to the season. Primorie are in the title fight as well, as Slovenia's Big Three don't enjoy a stellar start to this campaign. This is a perfect opportunity for us to show we can cause a huge surprise in only our second season. We have to win over Olimpia Ljubljana on the 11th matchday if we want to retake the lead from Primorie. Lukanic delivers across to the far post, but it's cleared. Belovic, our striker, hits a long shot, found the net, and we take the lead over Olimpia. Pinto launches Bristric on a 1v1 against the keeper. Pinto delivers the ball to Bristric, he's again on a 1v1, and he scores again. Weber to Zver. Loses possession, wins it back to Damianowski, Brdik, and now Belovic gets the chance. Is it a brace for him? I think it will. Mic again, very active on the right side. Delivers across to Brdik, who wins the header, and we take back the lead. Mohorovic, oh, that was offside. Durdos was clearly offside. It is, clearly. I did not really expect us to win against Olimpia, but we did, and showed we're truly back in business. We then traveled to Maribor and managed to get a draw at Ludzki Virt. With it, we knew now that we could even become the leading force in the league. Alumini, a 4-0 demolition. NK Bravo, a solid 4-1 win. Celje, Flavio Juncai's solo goal gives us a crucial victory. Unfortunately, we didn't enter the winter break on high form. Olimpia Ljubljana got their revenge on us. They eliminated us in the round of 16 of the cup and just 3 days later won against us in the league. And they did that by coming back from a 1-0 deficit in both cases. This builds up to what looks like a 2-horse race for the title. We're leading the league, but our gap over Olimpia Ljubljana is just 1 point. Primorie are starting to fall off, and Celje with Maribor cannot catch up either. However, Mitja Bielkic was extremely impressed with this round and suggested I should change our season expectations. I, however, don't want to be carried away with our task at hand, so I kept the top half finish as the goal. Before the winter break even started, the teams from better leagues noticed how well we were performing. But in this video, we rebuilt a club that was dissolved, so I of course said no. We also had a youth intake preview. It wasn't anything great. And what about the transfers? What about the transfers? You're correct, there were no transfers. And the only offer I received was for Luka Lukanic from Rijeka. I rejected it. So let's return to our surprise title fight. We started with a 5-0 win over Nafta Lendava. Then, we followed it up with a goalless draw against Maribor and wins over Alumini, Primorie and Bravo. We were building a gap over our title rivals Olimpia Ljubljana. With 12 games to go, our gap over the team from the capital is 8 points. On the 25th matchday, we took on Celje with a goal of enlarging that gap. However, it was the away side that had the first opportunity. Thankfully, they only hit the crossbar. That's still better than our striker Tomasz Brdyk. His header missed the goal entirely. Falu Faye was only marginally better. He hit the side netting. Right before Tomasz slightly missed again. Thankfully, right before the halftime whistle blew, Gal Krancic showed Tomasz how to score and opened up the score sheet. Lukasz Hent also joined that lecture, although he needed a rebound to do this. However, in the second half, Celje decided that scoring a tap-in wasn't enough. So they passed the ball again, and Damian Pavlovic was the one to score a double tap-in. Thankfully, they didn't have any more chances, and our only opportunity ended in the post. Therefore, for the 3rd time this season, we won over the team that in real life plays in the Conference League knockouts. Victories over Mura and Koper helped us enlarge the gap over Olimpia. Now, it's 12 points over the Dragons. This means we're getting closer and closer to Domzale's first league title since 2008. 2,600 fans turned up to our most important match against Olimpia Ljubljana. That's a fifth of the town. No, not quite. Half of them, yes, 1,400 Olimpia fans turned up as well, want to see us claim that victory and see the title become inevitable. Gorenc on the right side of the pitch, cuts inside to Brest. Brest delivers the ball to Pinto, who hits the post. We have to kick it out. Pristric to Mitrowski, fantastic pass to Diogo Pinto. In the middle of the pitch, Lukanic, long shot, and he finds the net. Fantastic low strike. Oh wow, he just dribbled past half of our squad and ends our dreams of at least getting a draw. During the March international break, we prepared hard for the deciding phase and played multiple friendlies, all of which we won. Unfortunately, we were also forced to prepare without our lone midfielder Kobe Bites. Tore his ACL and Maribor recalled him. We also had a youth intake, and well, the reaction speaks for itself. 4 elite prospects, are you being serious? And 6 more top prospects. That was meant to be a below average intake. But the worst part is, we may never see those players in action. That's because we can win the league title and finish this rebuild in just 2 seasons. The problem is, we conceded a 91st minute goal against Maribor, and now the gap between us and Olimpia Ljubljana was reduced to just 3 points. Something is clearly going wrong here, and I knew I had to fight it. So I called in a team meeting, and I messed it up! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! It didn't really matter though. Palu Faye scored a hat-trick against Alumni, leading us to a 4-1 win. Then away at NK Primorie, Tomasz Brdyk scored the brace to win the game 2-0. Tomasz then scored the brace again. This time, it led to a win over Nafta Lendava. But then... it's not looking good. I hope it's an accident. I hope it's a one-off. We have to win every game now. I needed to call another meeting with the players. I couldn't put our morale down again now. And thankfully, I avoided it. Easing off expectations really helped. But the worst part is, Celje, who are comfortably on 3rd, are next. Kovacevic wins the header. No, he doesn't win the header. Juncai has the ball. Brdyk is tackled. It could be a red. It is a red. That's massive. but Hyunja has the ball. He passes it to Kambic. He makes a cut inside. Brilliant strike for Luka Kambic. Karnicznik. Pavlovic. Pass to Kovacevic, but he clearly was off. Disallowed. Kovacevic again on the right side. He's actually doing very well here today, and that worries me. Karnicznik. Pavlovic. Back to Kovacevic. Pavlovic. Side netting. They are attacking like crazy, but thankfully they will not attack us anymore. We achieved a fantastic victory over NK Domzale. We may genuinely potentially win the title. Fire delivers across to Brdyk, who wins the header. We take lead over Mura. Right now, we're champions. Great ball to Nenad Damianowski. Damianowski back to Maciak. Zabukownik with a long shot. 2 minutes to go. 1 minute to go. I've not changed anything, but I think after a literal bankruptcy, we did it. We won the Slovenian League in just 2 seasons. We literally rose like a phoenix from the ashes. As we now lift the trophy above our heads, NK Domzale are Slovenian League champions, and we have successfully rebuilt a bankrupt football club. I was seriously worried we would let the title slip away from us at one point, but thankfully we kept afloat and did not waste our chance. We received a guard of honor from FC Koper on the final match day, and in this final match we comfortably won 2-0. We ended our season with 79 points, 7 more than second Olimpia Ljubljana. It was a short adventure, but it was also an insane adventure. And now I invite you to one more adventure in the Balkans, where we definitely did not bottle the title. I kept the lead until the end, just like here at Domzale. Yep, I definitely did.